All right, let's dive right in. We're all seeing how this new wave of AI is totally changing our relationship with data. I mean, these systems are unbelievably powerful, right? But with all that power comes a huge new question. How do we make them not just smart, but actually dependable for business?
So this is really the big question on everyone's mind. We know generative AI is powerful, but what makes it trustworthy? And when I say trustworthy, I don't just mean technically correct. I mean dependable, consistent, something you can really rely on to hit your business goals. And the answer, maybe surprisingly, starts with something we've all been working on for years.
Yep, that foundation is data engineering. The good news is, this isn't about ripping everything out and starting from scratch. Far from it. It's all about building on the incredible work that's already been done.
Think about it. For years, data engineering has been the absolute hero of the modern business. It's the craft that took these huge, messy piles of data from all over the place and wrangled them into a single, reliable source of truth. I mean, this was the bedrock for everything, from our dashboards and analytics to training the machine learning models we've come to depend on.
And what that really meant was creating what we call a system of record. Doing all that heavy lifting, the ingesting, the transforming, the cleaning, the governing, all of it. The whole point was to make sure that no matter who or what was looking at the data, whether it was a person or a tool, everyone was singing from the same hymn sheet. Data engineering basically organized the facts for the entire company.
Okay, but here's where things get interesting. Generative AI? Well, it needs something more than just a big pile of organized facts. This is the big shift. We have to move from thinking just about data to thinking about context. See, up until now for most analytics, having all the facts was pretty much the goal, right? The whole idea was to build a massive, clean data lake or warehouse. You just point your tools at it and let them go to town finding patterns and making predictions. The more data, the better. But, and this is a huge but, generative AI works differently. It's not just analyzing, it's reasoning. And to reason well, it doesn't need the entire library. It just needs the right couple of books for the specific question you're asking. It's not about having all the data. It's about having the right meaning. This slide really nails the difference. Think about it. Data is the entire medical library. That's millions of pages. But context, that's just the specific patient's chart and maybe a couple of recent research papers you need to make a diagnosis. Or look at the second example. Data is the whole database of company policies. Context is just the return policy and this one customer's purchase history. So data engineering gave us that awesome system of record, our library of facts. But now, to make AI truly work, we need to build a system of relevance. And this new need for a system of relevance is leading to a whole new discipline, or maybe it's better to call it a new mindset that builds on everything we already know. And we're calling it context engineering. So what is it exactly? Well, at its heart, context engineering is all about carefully selecting, structuring, and governing the right data so that an AI can reason with it and do it effectively and responsibly. It's kind of like being the AI's librarian, carefully choosing what information it gets to see for any given task, making sure it's not just correct, but also totally appropriate. And here's the best part. We are not starting from zero. Not even close. Context engineering shares a ton of DNA with data engineering. All those principles we live and breathe, quality, lineage, observability, governance, they are all still absolutely crucial. We're standing on the shoulders of giants here, really.
But it does bring some new responsibilities to the table. And this is where it gets really cool. We're now talking about dynamic, on-the-fly retrieval of information, not just running batch jobs overnight. We need to enforce policies right at the moment the AI is thinking. That's what at-inference means. And we have to be sure the information we're giving it actually matches what the user is trying to do. And, this is a big one, we have to be able to trace the AI's answer right back to the source data it used.
So, what's the payoff for all this work? Why does it matter? It's simple, really. This is how we build AI systems that you can actually count on to run your business.
And look, this isn't just some abstract idea. It's a real, practical workflow. First, you pick your approved, trusted datasets. Then, you build the context for the specific task. You filter, you rank, you format the most relevant bits. Next, and this is critical, you apply all your policies and access controls. And finally, you double-check that the context you've built actually helps achieve the goal. You see, this is the assembly line that turns raw data into perfectly tailored, governed context.
And that right there is the whole point. This process is the bridge.
It's what takes a model that performs great in a test environment and turns it into a system that performs dependably day in and day out for your actual business. It's the missing link between cool tech and real-world results.
You know, there's a line that I think just perfectly sums this all up. If data engineering organizes the facts, context engineering organizes the understanding. It's beautiful, isn't it? One discipline built the giant, amazing library. The other is the expert librarian who knows exactly which books to pull off the shelf at the exact right moment.
And that really brings us to the final question for you to think about. Your company has put in the hard work. You spent years, maybe even decades, organizing your facts. You have the data. But this next wave of AI isn't just about facts anymore. So the real question is, are you ready to manage meaning?